Hey everyone! So today I am going to be doing a video on a very simple yet basic eyeshadow look, and this video is mainly going to be aiming towards those that are beginners at makeup. So I'm going to be going through all the basic steps that I do. I'm just going through what I know from my experience and what works for me. So hopefully this video is just going to help beginners or anybody understand the basic steps of eyeshadow, and after you have overcome these steps, you can obviously venture out into more colours and more different techniques and more advanced skills and everything. So anybody that is beginning to start off doing makeup, I hope this helps and you can only start from here. For this video I'm going to be using the Langnickel eyeshadow palette because it has a great range of brown tones and neutral tones, because I'm just wanting to keep this eye look very simple, basic. I have 5 brushes here, and in my everyday routine these are usually the 5 brushes I would use. So whenever you're doing any eyeshadow look, the first thing you definitely want to do is to prime your eyelids. I personally don't use an eyeshadow primer, but I would say any makeup artist would say to you, use an eyeshadow primer, use an eyeshadow primer. They're makeup artists, I'm a realist. I'm a real person. I do not want to waste money on an eyeshadow primer. I don't think they make a difference. That is my opinion. Because I carve my eyebrows out with a concealer works exactly the same. Whenever you're going to go and set that concealer or your eyeshadow primer, you're usually wanting to take a skin tone or a lighter shade eyeshadow or setting powder. So within the Langnickel palette, these are both 2 shimmer shades. If you want to set your eye with a shimmer shade, go for it. There is not a thing wrong with it, but I personally like to set my eyelid with a matte shade. The next shade that you're going to take is going to be a shade such as this shade here. This is obviously just going to act as your transitional shade, and I would just place that shadow just in my crease just to give my eye a bit of a contour. As you would contour your face, you want to kind of contour your eyes just so your face looks more put together, and it will just give your eye so much more definition. To start off with my transition shade, I like to use a big buffing brush. So this is just your basic blending brush. We're starting off by buying brushes as well. I think the one brush that you need out of any brush at all is definitely a blending brush. Just a medium sized blending brush. You can do so many eyeshadow looks with just this one brush. This is the type of brush that I would first go in with my transition shade and just buffing into the crease. As you can see, I don't have hooded eyes. I have quite a large space for the eyeshadow to go on. If you can press and everything, you can actually feel your crease. So your crease is going to be, whenever you look up, this line in here, this shadow, that is where your crease is. If you have hooded eyes, that crease is going to be lower. So if you have hooded eyes and say your crease comes to about there, you're wanting to go above the crease. So as you can see, there is quite a lot packed on the brush. I'm just going to tap off the excess. So whenever you're buffing it in, you're not going to get any of the fallout. And whenever I'm actually starting to blend, whenever I'm holding my brush, I like to hold my brush at the very end. I know some people like to hold their brush way up here and blend in like this, but I personally think that looks so harsh and it doesn't look professional. Whereas if you're blending like this, it just looks so much more professional, being more feather-like and more gentle. So this is just the way I do it. Some people might find that if they're blending like this, they have more control over where the product is going, they have more control over the brush, whereas I've been doing this long enough that I have control over everything to hold the brush like this, and I just think it makes everything just more seamless and buffed out, and it just looks more professional. Whenever I am blending, I start off at the outer edge and I just kind of go in windshield, car wiper motions, just to kind of disperse the eyeshadow out. And as I was saying, I just mainly like to focus on the outer area, and I like to blend in the way. And I also don't like to bring it out too far, because then that will give the illusion of droopy eyes or something. So you want to kind of stop the eyeshadow to where the tail of your eyebrow usually is. So whenever you're doing this as well, you want to just take the smallest bit of eyeshadow and then you want to just build it up. You can always build it up, but it's always harder to take off if you start with too much. And if you're starting off with a little amount, it is so much easier to actually blend the product out. So I'm still keeping that within my crease and I'm still doing the exact same technique. And as you can see, the motions that I'm going in are motions like this, and then I will go like this. So this motion for me is basically like, you know, like I'm actually pushing the product where I'm wanting it to actually lie on my eyelid, whereas this motion I'm actually blending it out. You know, like this way, I'm kind of like placing the eyeshadow, like I'm starting here, I'm kind of pushing it to the inner portion of my eye, and then I'm going back and I'm actually blending that. Just finished both of my eyes there. So as you can see, my eyes look far more defined and more sultry, and they just look more deep set. If you're just starting off, you might not like this, whereas I'm used to getting things shoved in my eyes. If you want to take that shade one more time, so if you want to just take that shadow and run it right underneath your lower lash line, obviously making sure you really get it like up in there because I think when it comes to this part with people, there's a very fine line between like having a smoked out lower lash line and kind of looking punched in the face. We've all been there, but it's just getting the balance right between the shades and everything, and how close you're getting to the lash line and how much you're actually blending out the certain shades. I'm just going to take this shade here from the Jack and Hill palette. This is the third shade from the bottom row. So I'm going to be taking this on my Ruby blending brush. If you're familiar with my channel, you would know that I use this blending brush all the time. This is probably by far my favourite blending brush. One thing I will actually say before I move on any further, if you invest in good decent brushes, like they don't have to be MAC brushes or any expensive brushes, you know, like there's Morphe brushes, there's Zoeva, there's Ciara Daly brushes, so many other brushes out there, but if you actually invest in a good set of brushes, or even one or two brushes to see how you actually like the brush brand and quality itself before you buy a set, they will last you a lifetime and you will not regret it. I also think that your makeup brushes are like your magic wands basically. They definitely do make a difference. Whenever I started makeup, I only ever used eBay brushes, and I was like, they're fine, they're fine, they're fine. You know, like I would have swore on eBay brushes, but the more I've started to actually venture out on brand makeup brushes, the more where I'm kind of turning my back on my eBay brushes, where it's like, these are more better. So this is the brush that I first started off with, and this is the brush that I'm now going to start off with. You can see that they are slightly kind of identical, but this one is slightly smaller. It has a slightly smaller tip on it, so that's why I'm going to go in with a darker shade, just a couple of shades darker than that transitional shade that we had done. So the other couple of things that you want to remember whenever you're doing like your basic smoky eye, so as your shadows get darker focusing in your crease, you also want to reduce the size of your brushes. So you're obviously going to start with like a big brush, and then you're obviously going to work your brush sizes down. So I'm moving on to the second darker shade. I'm moving on to a smaller brush so I can be more precise in my crease and get more definition. So just like that first shade I used, I'm just going to do exactly the same thing that I done previous. So I'm just going to focus it just on the outer edge and then sweeping it back and forth, just kind of moving the colour within my crease, and then blend. And then because this is a smaller brush and I'm being more precise with it, honestly do not be scared to blend it right up, but you're obviously not wanting to blend it right up into here. If you blend it up into here, that's fine. I'm starting off with the smallest amount on my brush, and I'm just going to continue to build up the colour, build up the pigmentation, and obviously still continuing to blend everything all together. I'm pretty much happy with that, but say for example you're not happy with it, see like lines somewhere or there's somewhere that's just not buffing out right, if you want to go back into the bigger fluffier brush you have with no product on it whatsoever, and if you want to go and just run that over your entire little liddy lid and just buff absolutely everything together, that works just as well. I'm actually following my eyelid shape. I'm not going like straight across, I'm not going like this way, I'm actually keeping it within the half circle of my eyelid shape. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to keep it quite soft. So once you have that done, you're now on to your third eyeshadow step, and we are on to our final eyeshadow brush. As I said previous there, as you're getting darker with your shades, you're also getting smaller with your eyeshadow brushes, so you're more precise with your placement of your shadow. So whenever I'm doing this and I'm on my final shade, I will take just a simple blending brush like this, like, you know, just as big as the blending brushes I was using, but it is quite tapered, as in it is pinched in the middle. We're actually able to get really deep into the crease and the outer V area. I'm just going to take this one here from the Jagged Hill eyeshadow palette. So then I'm just going to pick up a generous amount of shadow, and because this is your darkest shade and you really do not want to get any fallout, you're just wanting to tap off the excess. I like to start right out at my outer corner. I barely lift my brush whenever I'm doing this, especially with the darker shade, because you just do not want to disperse the darker shade and for it to go absolutely crazy. Like, I'm literally buffing and blending at the same time. Like, I am barely lifting my brush. So I'm just mainly wanting to focus this just right at the outer corner. So then with the side of the brush, I'm just wanting to pat, like, I'm not blending or anything, I'm just patting that. Then again, taking absolutely nothing on that brush. And then what we've done with the second shade, going in and out and blending, but still taking nothing on my brush. Whatever dark shadow I place in this outer corner, obviously it's still going to be movable, so I'm just going to blend that into my inner corner and blend it out. I like to go back with the very first brush I used and the very first shade that you used. Just want to dip into that one last time, tap off the excess, and you just want to go over just at the top where all of the shadows just finish, and you just want to buff that out. And this is the Maybelline Total Temptation mascara. So if you're someone that just wears mascara, this is obviously the completed look for you. Lashes today, I'm going to be wearing tea lashes. I got sent these last week. So thank you so much, Tea Lashes, for sending me these. These are absolutely amazing. I got sent these other pairs as well. These are a wee bit more dramatic. So they are, so they currently have like a sale on their website, but I also have a discount code for them as well. So I just went off camera there and applied my lashes, and I put some mascara to my lower lash line, but just a wee tiny bit. So I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. Please do keep in mind, I said this at the very start of the video, like, I am not a makeup artist, so I'm sure there is other videos out there for like beginners when it comes to like brushes and shadows and like techniques and everything, but this is just my take on it, and this is just what has helped me out and just what I have grown to, you know, works for me throughout the years of doing makeup and everything. So don't forget to follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. They'll both be linked down below. Does anybody even open Snapchat anymore? Because I know I still do sometimes. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Mwah.